Welcome to episode 4 of Cross Court Conversations, your source for trending NBA news and from the couch criticism. I'm Daisy, serving as the moderator, with Mastiff and Banana serving as the host. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Doing good.
Doing just fine. I don't got to watch any more OKC basketball the rest of the season.
Right, and we will definitely get into that in our trending topic area. And speaking of that, how about we get started now? At the top of the docket, we have Becky Hammon. She's been talking.
Yeah. So this is before the Knicks made the finals, pretty much. But she was saying that Jalen Brunson was too small and that she didn't think that he could lead the Knicks to the finals, pretty much.
I'm about to say, and to take it up a notch, because I just actually listened to that whole clip again before this. She said, you're basically not winning if you have a small guard leading your team. And then somebody brought up Steph Curry, and she was like, Steph Curry is the only one. And somebody was like, then he's not actually small. I was like, well, technically, he's 6'2.5". He's a small guard.
Yeah, like for NBA standards, that's still small.
And speaking of which, just random thought, how tall was Isaiah Thomas?
Which Isaiah Thomas? New gen or old gen?
I could say both, but one of my full new gen Isaiah Thomas, I full believe would have got the Celtics to a finals earlier if he didn't have the injury problems the way he was playing. But I'm talking about old gen Isaiah Thomas.
He was 6'1".
Small guard.
Yeah.
So, like, so.
Wait, is New Gen the one on Boston Celtics or on Boston?
Yeah, he was on Boston.
Yeah, he was on the Boston.
He was 5'9". I could have been in the NBA.
Yeah, he was
about to say if you could shoot and move like him, you probably could.
Yeah, he was small. So, I mean, I don't think Isaiah Thomas was leading you to a finals though, because sometimes small guards have a limitation on defense. But Brunson is he's a big body guard where he can like put his weight against you. And I think he can hold his own when it comes to certain defensive like strategies as well.
And that's the thing about small guards. You can't just call them small and not go into the aspects of how they do things. Brunson is a small guard, but he knows how to play defense in his system. He's not trying to challenge people one-on-one defensively. Everything. He's pushing them into his help. He plays defense much like Curry played defense on his team. Curry, if you think you got a one-on-one with Curry, you better have some dangerous options behind him that can't be left because Curry is pushing you towards Draymond or whatever other big is in that paint.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't like I like Becky Hammon. Back in the day, when I at my old job when I worked security, I did see her when she was interviewing for the Bucks position. So I actually wanted her to get that position also before they hired Coach Bud.
Random question. Do you think she would have did a better job than Doc Rivers?
Yes.
Yes.
This current iteration of Doc Rivers, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like Doc Rivers had a foot out the door already.
I'm going to keep it a buck. I feel like she does better than the majority of the iterations of Doc Rivers just because Doc Rivers has always, and I don't know why it took him going to the 76ers for people to start realizing this. Doc Rivers has always been a coach that has lived off the success of having great players on the team or having a coach at the point guard position, i.e. Rondo or Chris Paul. That's what Doc Rivers has always lived off of.
I do think he did a good job with Tyrese Maxey and kind of getting him going.
But see, and that's also just the thing of. Okay, so I'll give Doc Rivers his credit in this. he sees you can do something, he's gonna let you do it. But as far as making the decisions in the game, to know the ebbs and flows of the game, to figure out, okay, this player is gonna be hot. Oh, they're working out of this defense. They're playing defense like this. We need to feed the ball through this. No, Doc Rivers is not doing that. He's letting whoever his good players are, y'all got to know how to figure out everything over here. I'm gonna let y'all do that. That's what's going on with Doc Rivers. It's just, I don't know.
That was one of my biggest issues was that it seemed like he did not have an offensive plan. He didn't have a system in place. It was just kind of go out there.
All the NBA players, y'all should know how to do this. That's how Doc Rivers coaches.
So yeah, that was like one of my biggest things with him, though.
But yeah,
but I do think Becky Hammon was wrong, though. I feel like it was uncalled for.
I was going to say, now granted, Becky Hammon also has had a magnitude of wealth in her coaching positions.
Oh yeah, because she came up under Coach Pop.
Mm-hmm. Came up under Pop,
which is why I was saying I thought she would have been good for the Bucks. So I'm like a Pop disciple. But I mean, she went to the WNBA and got a couple championships with the Aces.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I was saying about the wealth, though, because she also had the best player in the league on the Aces.
True.
All right. Sorry to get you off topic, but I just wanted to see who your coaching preference would have been. Next topic under trending topics is OKC Thunder. How's that?
Well, I'll let Banana go first because I know he got some stuff to get off his chest.
So, I'll just say this. The way Oklahoma City Thunder play basketball, and I just love how the media just spotlighted all of it this year, because they've been trying for years, but they really only been identifying Shea as the foul baiter and all the different stuff. This playoff series, I don't know if it was because it was against Wemby or what, they spotlighted everybody. Every bad flop, every bad everything they did. As far as even Jay Williams spoke on it, he was like, well, he was speaking specifically on Shea, but he mentioned the rest of the players do it too. They go for fouls. They're not going to get the foul and try to get an and one. They're going for that foul. They don't care where their shot goes. If they get a foul, they go get it. Run into somebody, I'm falling over. It was literally a screen. I think it was game 6. Harrison Barnes set a screen. I can't remember what player it was on the Thunder that did it, but Harrison Barnes didn't
Isaiah Joe.
It was Isaiah Joe. Thank you. He didn't touch him on the screen. Isaiah Joe felt like he got hit by a Mack truck. It was the most egregious flop I've ever seen in my life to not be touched. Like usually there's some kind of contact, even if it's a small contact or anything. He did not touch this man, and that man flew like he had got hit by a truck. I was like, bro, what is going on? This is not basketball. And I understand the foul bait and getting the ref gonna give me the call. I'm gonna get that call or whatever. But also, why am I not also trying to get the basket while I'm getting this call? That's one thing. If Shea put up 20 shots a game and hit 18 of them and went to the line 12 times, and majority of them were and ones and stuff, nobody would complain about that. Shea's very efficient in his fouls, though. If he gets fouled, majority of the time that shot ain't going to the basket. He's just going to the line, which keeps him efficient, because if I know I'm finna get fouled, I don't got to try to make this shot because it's not going to mess with my field goal percentage, because foul basically erases that missed shot. So it's not going to bother my field. Everybody talks about him being the most efficient player and everything. I'm like, he baits fouls and don't try to hit the shot at all. You know how efficient you could be if you're going to the free throw line for majority of your points, and you're a good free throw shooter, not Shaq or Dwight Howard. Like, just
one of the worst calls that I saw was, I forget who put up the shot on the Spurs, but Carter Bryant was at the 3-point line, on the baseline at the 3-point line. The shot missed and he was going in to crash the board. Shea looks directly at him as he's going in, and typically if a shot goes up, you're trying to box out, right? Shea didn't try to do that at all. He watched the person come. He got hit and fell with like no attempt at box out or anything. It was just like, I'm just gonna let him touch me and fall over. And they called the foul on him.
Didn't even look like he was going for the rebound.
No, because he didn't look at the rim. He was looking at Carter Bryant the whole time.
It's like I hate to bring up like football and stuff and all that. Our coach used to tell us, as when we're on defensive line, if our team catches a pick, don't run towards the direction of the play. If he's running past, don't even keep running to the end zone to celebrate with him, because somebody is going to step in front of you and you're going to get a block in the back call, because that's all they're going to try to do. And the referee is only going to see, oh, he just hit him in the back and he fell over, even though you weren't even trying to block, but he just ran in front of you. That's basically what Shea did. He literally looked at him and was like, all right, I might not get this rebound, but I know how to keep the ball. So, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it was just, I hated watching certain, like, just people falling down. Like Jalen Williams, he ran into Keldon Johnson and just fell over like he got hit in the stomach or something. Like he ran into a brick wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and Keldon Johnson did not move forward. You have about 3 inches over Keldon Johnson's height, and probably about 40 pounds on him in weight. You mean to tell me you ran into him and he the brick wall? That's what just happened. You ran into that man and he was so sturdy that he knocked you over. That's what just, I don't know.
Yeah, it was just too many things going on where I was just like I feel like, okay, what I think is going to happen with that is the same thing they ended up doing with James Harden and changing up the rules slightly.
Yeah.
Whether they crack down more on the fines for flopping, or they're going to have to implement something else, but it's going to take away a section of Shea's offense. If they do that, like the same way they took away the thing with Harden, his it was with his 3-point shoot, like he was kicking his legs out after the step back or something like that, and they stopped calling that, and so his scoring went down. And if they do something with the flops, then Shea's scoring is going to go down also, because he's not going to get the free throw line.
And that's the worst thing about Shea is that
he doesn't need to do it.
Don't hear me talk about the fouls and say I'm calling Shea a bad player. Shea is a pure scorer of the basketball. Like when he shoots the ball open and not worried about a foul or anything like that, trying to pull that foul, he has such a pure shot in it. Every time he shoots it from a mid-range spot, I think the ball is going in. That's how good he shoots the basketball. I'm just like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah, like his efficiency from the mid range makes me feel like DeMar DeRozan's efficiency from the mid range. Yeah. Like it's just an automatic bucket.
Like it was times in that game where, like, because I'll give Shea his credit. Second half of that game, he wasn't doing all the foul baiting and stuff. I don't know if it was because he was tired, because that man was dead tired in that second half of that game.
And they wasn't calling it in the first half, so now he got to change up his play style.
But every time he shot in the mid-range, I was like, Lord, y'all just going to let them stay in the game. It was even one point, I tuned into the game, like I started watching the game late. I got in there late, and the Spurs were up 10 points. I literally watched Shea make 3 baskets in a row, and the game was cut to 2 points. And then a 3 ball later, the Thunder were up. I was like, well, shoot, I don't want the Thunder. Maybe I need to stop watching. Because what did I do when I turned on the game or whatever? So, but literally, it was no foul calls, nothing like that. He was just shooting the basketball, and I'm like, you're that good. You don't have to get these fouls. And I mean, I understand it. If the ref gonna call it, then I go for it too. But I'm also, if I know I'm getting the foul, I don't care how much I'm trying to sell this foul. I'm also shooting the ball to try to get it in the basket. Also, so I'm gonna get this foul. I might as well go ahead and try to get my 2 points because I'm shooting 2 at the line. If I miss anyway, if I know I'm getting the foul. He knows he was getting the foul majority of the time. So, but I will say though, that game, like I was saying earlier before we got started, but I didn't want to get into it too much. That game should have been
a blowout.
In that second half, kudos to Casey Wallace because he kept them in that game. It was so many points that the Spurs looked like they were finna take that game over. It was gonna be over with. Casey Wallace would come down and hit a dagger 3. And it was even a point in the game where I was like, all right, y'all need to get Wemby back in this game quick. I know he got 5.
Yeah, he was at 5.
Y'all need to back in because they were up by 6. Casey Wallace had just hit a 3 on the other end. And then Cormet out of nowhere.
Right. I think that's
crazy.
I think that shut down all the momentum right there. That shut all the momentum down, that block.
It really shut down every bit of momentum they had because right after be checked back in and that game was over with.
Let me ask you this then. Because people will say, if the Thunder was fully healthy, that it would have been a different series. Do you think that with the current iteration of this OKC Thunder squad, with all their players healthy, should run it back next year, or do you think they got to make a change somewhere?
So, what's crazy about the pieces that the Thunder have? One, they have a wealth of players right now. One, it's going to be too difficult to keep all of these players anyway. I feel like for the better part of trying to maintain their success, they got to try to move some of them because they're going to lose some of them. So they got to figure out which ones they want to keep. And right now, I'm going to tell y'all off rip, I better go ahead and try to move Chet. Chet has no fight or heart whatsoever. That's my only issue with this man. Is that he ain't got the fight. Wemby out-willed that man the whole. Like it was just it wouldn't even tell it at that point. It was just will of I want to win this game more than you do, Chet. And it was kind of like we anime watchers and everything. It was kind of like you walk into a room with somebody that is so powerful that you can feel that presence when you walk in that bitch. That's how Chet played that entire series. Like he could feel the power coming from Wemby and was like, I'm not gonna be able to do nothing in this game or whatever. He just chose not to. I'm like, if Wemby had played this game, I would have been okay. All right, Wemby, like you the player for your team. Like you got to come back with some more of this. Chet, y'all just won a championship last year. You were a focal point of that team winning the championship last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you can come back this year and not have any fight in a game 7, knowing we can get back to the finals
and do
this all again.
This is with your second best player out and you being elevated to that second option role.
Yeah.
And he only had 2 shots in game 7?
2 shots the whole game 7, no shots in the fourth quarter. I mean the second half.
Hey, if I'm his teammate, I'm pissed.
I am so hot at him if I'm his teammate, because how do you not shoot the ball at all?
If I'm his
I just
teammate,
don't
I am
understand
pissed.
that.
Like, yeah.
The other Jalen Williams shot 2 deep range threes. Like, I was just like, what? And one of them he had to, but the other one he did not. He didn't have to. It was just, all right, I'm wide open. We need a bucket. I'm finna shoot it. That's just what happened. I'm like, you gotta have some fight in you somewhere. If everybody was like, well, you played great defense, blah blah blah, I don't want to hear that either. He also had 4 rebounds the entire game. He played, I think Chet played. He might have crossed 40, but I think he was at like 39. I can't remember how many minutes of the game he played. But you mean to tell me in 39, 40 minutes of game, how tall is Chet? 7'2", 7'1"?
7-1.
7'1"? Okay. You mean to tell me your big 7'1" butt only grabbed 4 rebounds the entire game? And you're on top of your team actually like getting a bunch of offensive rebounds. That's what kept them in the game. You weren't a part of any of that. You just weren't. He wasn't doing nothing in that game. I can't accept it. That's just not. Y'all want to move anywhere? Y'all need to move. Y'all need to move Chet if y'all gonna move anything.
Okay, listen. From this year, so we're counting this year, 2026 to 2032. The Thunder have. Let me not tell you. Take a guess how many first round picks they have between now and 2032.
From now and 2032, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like they're like how the Celtics were for all those years, and just got a bunch of them. So,
yeah, Sam Presti been doing his thing over there.
Yeah, I should have said at least. For some reason, I want to say like 8, but I don't know. That sounds crazy for a team this good to have 8 first round picks. But
I would say that you're lowballing them because they have 13.
they got 13 first round picks in 6 drafts.
Yep. From now to 2032, there is 13 first round picks and like they got a bunch of second round picks also.
Yeah, they gotta start future thinking a little bit.
So that's why when we were talking off the podcast earlier before we started, that I was saying that they had, if they wanted to, they could offload a lot of assets to bring in like a Giannis if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you one thing. Giannis said, what, Giannis 6'10", 6'11",
6'11".
Yeah, he gonna battle with Wemby down there.
Oh yeah,
that
was what, I think. I think it was last year. That was one of the most watched games. Was Wemby versus Giannis. But I think Giannis had like 35 to Wemby's 30 or something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of player comparisons and things of that nature, Shea, although like I said, I didn't say he was a bad player or anything like that. I feel like y'all in the media have given Shea too much too soon as far as players we're comparing him to. One, after this series, I don't want to hear Shea in another Kobe conversation. I want to hear Shea in another Michael Jordan conversation. I don't even want to hear Shea in another Steph Curry conversation. Because as much as he wasn't getting from his team, Shea passed that ball way too much in that second half. And I know he was still getting his shots here and there because he's such an efficient player. But I feel like Shea lets his efficiency get in the way of him actually taking over games sometimes. And if we ain't got nobody else, we don't got Jalen Williams over here to help carry the load for you, Shea. I don't care how tired you are in this game 7. You got to put everything out there as far as trying to score this basketball. Not saying you got to put up stupid shots, anything of that nature. It's just a certain dog I don't see in him.
Listen, as much as people used to like dog on LeBron for being like a pass first player, if his teammates weren't doing anything, he would take over the game.
He was going to take over that game. Good example, LeBron. In that infamous finals that everybody likes to say, oh, Ray Allen saved them and everything like that. That was the only shot Ray Allen made that entire fourth quarter.
And like a play or two before that, LeBron hit the three to bring them into close to like bring the score close. Yeah,
but that was the only shot he hit that entire fourth quarter. Ray Allen then hit another shot in overtime. Now I feel like I'm trying to confuse my games here. That shot tied him to go to overtime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so in overtime, that was LeBron's game at that point. So as much as we want to say, oh, Ray Allen saved his life, maybe LeBron even felt like Ray Allen just saved my life. But the rest of this game is mine. Like, it's a certain dog mentality I don't see from Shea yet. And Shea is still a young player. Now, not as young as a lot of y'all like to say he is, because he's been in the league for a good time now. It's like a lot of y'all forget his Clippers days or whatever, but
he's 27.
Yeah, like he ain't got the dog I expect to see from a player that's been in the league like right now. Like even players that aren't as good as him, because like Paul George had never been. I don't think Paul George at his peak was ever as good of a player as what Shea is right now. But
no.
Paul George, in a game where we need this game or whatever, Paul George is gonna fight tooth and nail with whoever it was. I'm talking about Paul George during his peak to win this game. I don't see him have battles with LeBron for this game.
Pre-injury, Paul George. If he never sustained an injury, I feel like he would be up there talked about the same as like a lot of these players like Kawhi and stuff like that, because he was that good. I don't think
he have a ring still, but he would be talked about like that. But I think he'd be in like the Carmelo Anthony, James Harden range because of not having a ring. Because I still don't think he'd have a ring. So I think he'd be that level good. Like everybody know Carmelo Anthony's a bucket, but Carmelo Anthony's not talked about with the GOATs because he ain't got no rings. I know MVPs for that matter.
Yeah, but that's true. But he was in like that range of LeBron's prime. Yeah. Which also I think the LeBron prime range, I feel like it's crazy he never got a unanimous MVP.
Exactly. Honestly, keep it a bug.
Hold on, wait. That's
LeBron.
Hold on, wait. We're getting way off topic. We didn't swap from OKC to LeBron. Hold on, your mic cutting out. Hold on. Yeah, it's cutting out a little bit.
What about now? We straight?
Yeah, it's better.
So you need me to step in?
Okay.
You need me to step in and steer the boat? Let me drive the boat. All right, y'all. We're going into our last trending topic of the podcast, which are our NBA final predictions. Who do you think has the better chance of winning? And if you want, you can delve into the last games of each of the playoffs, if I'm saying that right. And yeah, go ahead, kick it off.
I think the Spurs are going to win, but I do think the Knicks are going to take a game or two. It might go 6 because they've been resting this whole time, and the Spurs just came off of this battle with the Thunder where they could have some fatigue. But
Yeah.
I think they don't have an answer for Wemby. I feel like OKC had a better answer for Wemby than the Knicks do because they had two bigs to throw at him. Well, three.
Yeah.
But I got the Spurs winning in
Yeah,
6.
I will say why I believe in my heart of hearts that the Spurs are going to win this series. I have a hot take. And maybe it's only because I want to see Knicks fans go stupid. But I'm going to just say it here, just so if it happens, everybody can say Banana said it. I'm going to say the Knicks going to win this series.
Listen, I can see it. I can see it happening.
The main reason I'm going to give is because the Knicks, and I hate to say it because, like, as much as we try not to make it a thing in the playoffs or whatever, having the experience, the games played, and all the different stuff, it makes a huge impact on these series. And I just feel like the Knicks right now are playing like a team that just, I know they're in the East, they're playing like a team that like,
that wants it.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is about the Knicks right now, but I even throughout the years when they've been playing all right or whatever, make it to conference finals, blah, blah, things of that nature, they still look like very unpolished. Knicks looking full like well-oiled machine right now, and while I do think, obviously, I feel like if it was going to be them winning it, it's going to go like 7 series. I think if it got down to going to a 7-game series, which I think it's going to go to a 7-game series, I think the Knicks are going to win just off of experience. That's the only reason I'm giving the Knicks a chance, opposite of me wanting to see the Knicks fans go crazy. His experience,
because they would have to win in Game 7 in San Antonio, I believe.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's literally the only reason.
I do like that the Knicks has more experience because Wemby's only in his 3rd year, Castle's only in his 2nd year. They got Harper in his 1st year, but then you got De'Aaron Fox, this is his first real taste of playoffs. You do have you do have Harrison Barnes, who was on that Thunder, the Warriors team, so he has knowledge of the postseason and the deep runs in the postseason. But outside of him, the only people that they can rely on is coaching. You got Tim Duncan over there. You got Manu's over there talking to him as well. So it's like they can have that, but they don't have like the actual out on the court experience. But it's just something. It's just something about. I feel like the issue that I see in this is who's going to guard Wemby, and if they try to put Cat on Wemby, Cat's going to get in foul trouble.
Yeah. And so my other thing, I guess I will point out here, and for some reason, I'm blanking on the Knicks head coach name.
Mike Brown.
Right, Mike.
Mike Brown.
I feel like I don't know for what reason, but for some reason, I feel like Mike Brown deserves a ring. I feel like the NBA thinks Mike Brown deserves a ring. I don't know. I don't know why I feel that in my head, but I'm also like a moderator, Daisy over there. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theory when it comes to the NBA.
Do tell.
I just think that the way the Knicks have been playing in this playoffs is just like opposite of how unsure their game looked all season.
Yeah.
Like the entire season, you didn't know if Knicks was gonna be like, okay, they're gonna be the same team that was good in the playoffs last year. They're gonna be a 500 team. Like they had so many ups and downs of the playoffs. It's like as soon as they went down 2-1 to the Hawks, it was like a switch flipped. And that's just scary to me for the Spurs because I don't. The Spurs have showed that they can lose to a team who I consider to be weaker than the Knicks right now in the Timberwolves. Because the Spurs will come out and lay an egg as far as like their play is, and all that it might be just due to them being young or whatever. But on top of the experience and all that different stuff, for some reason I just feel like Mike Brown deserves a ring. I don't know why.
You know, this is Mike Brown's his second trip ever as a head coach to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And the first team that he coached against in the finals was the Spurs when he was coaching the Cavaliers in 07.
The Cavaliers in 07, yes.
And the biggest issue with that run was who was it? Robert Horry. He was saying that at that point, like Mike Brown came from the Popovich tree, so they were running a lot of the plays that the Spurs ran. So it was easy to counter that Cavaliers team because they pretty much had a read on all the plays already.
Especially with a very much more experienced team.
Yeah.
The Spurs were way more experienced than the Cavaliers that year. Plus, they had a stronger team.
Yep.
It was so easy for them to stop everything that the Cavaliers wanted to do. Outside of LeBron, because little people know LeBron still went crazy in series. And he just couldn't have any help for the rest of his players because the Spurs was better and they were stopping everybody.
So yeah, and like people like to say like, well, LeBron got swept in the finals and he got there.
Yeah. That's the 1 year, as much as I might do LeBron dirty in any other season, I don't say nothing about his 07 ring loss. I'm like, what did y'all want him to do against them? Yeah, I know they just beat the Pistons. Yeah, I understand that. But what did y'all want him to do against the Spurs?
And that Pistons series, LeBron really had to go crazy. That's a series where he scored 25 straight.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a superhuman effort for LeBron to even get them past Detroit. So getting to the finals was just a big feat in itself for LeBron and the Cavaliers at that point. And then at that point he was still young. That was only his fourth year.
Yeah.
And then this is with I don't know how many years Mike Brown was the head coach at that point. I think that might have been his first or second year. He wasn't like the head coach from the jump when LeBron first got there, I believe. But it was just like a team that had no real playoff experience.
Yeah. And so a couple things here about the series also is the reason why, like, I feel like the experience is going to play a major part into this series is that same example is like, I feel like in the reverse right now because the Spurs, even though Pop's no longer there, play still very similar system to Pop because they basically still have Pop disciple coaching. As well as one, people dog out Mike Brown about his coaching jobs at places so bad. When realistically, he has brought a lot of teams to success. Especially with players that come in and listen to him, like play his type of system, whatever that is. But as far as a player like De'Aaron Fox, most success playoff wise right now came under Mike Brown.
He
was coaching the Kings.
Yeah.
That was his most successful season. They lost in 7 to the Warriors. That was the most success De'Aaron Fox had in the playoff run. It's also been my De'Aaron Fox's most successful season so far. I just feel like a lot of things play against the Spurs, even with them being the better team. And I've seen better teams lose to teams that they should have beat in worse situations than this. Just based off that experience.
Yeah. Like, as far as coaching wise, you would think that they have the better chance. Like the Knicks do.
Mm-hmm.
And like from the coaching standpoint, I would say yes, they do. But from like the player standpoint, I think they have the better overall like number of better players. But I think Wemby will be the best player in the series with Brunson being right behind him, and then Cat if he can stay on the floor. But there's something about the young players on the Spurs that just give me hope that they're going to play well. Defensively, the Spurs young players, Wemby, Castle, Harper, all three of them defensively are great on the ball defenders. So they have people, Castle and Harper, they can swap them off on Brunson. And then you got Devin Vassell. You got Champagne, I think that's his last name.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to take the brunt of I would assume Mikal Bridges is going to be on Castle or Fox. Well, Fox. Wait, is Fox starting now, or did they make the move him to the bench and Harper starting?
I'm not gonna. Every time I caught the Spurs game, I was always catching it like a good bit through the first quarter, so I never really saw.
So I think they had Harper starting at the point guard now with Fox coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think he spoke on it. He said he's embraced that role because of Manu and like Manu talking to him, being in his ear about it. So you got Fox coming off the bench. You got, as far as defenders on the Knicks, you got OG and you got Bridges. I honestly think that they're probably going to put OG on Wemby at some point.
Well, so a lot of what I've also said though hinges off of one. This is the thing about this injury that Mitchell Robinson has, because
it's on his non-shooting hand, I think. So he should be okay.
It's a broken pinky, but they're saying he has to be cleared to play. I'm like, bro, it's a broken pinky. We don't want you to do much other than shoot layups, grab rebounds, and guard Wemby. I don't know how much you need your pinky for that, but Kobe plays series with his fingers taped together. I'm like,
basically,
we are going to need you to guard Wemby. All right. There are other guy. I don't have no idea how to say his last name, so I'm not even gonna try. But the man's last name starts with an H. It's like Hook Portal or something like that. He not guarding Wemby. Mitchell Robinson, they need you to play in this series early. They need you for this game one. Point of fact, so Cat don't get in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Like, if nothing else, just for that. So Cat don't get in foul trouble. Also, Cat isn't a bruiser type defender, so he's not going to beat up on Wemby at all. And like, people don't like to use this old terminology and stuff when it was said because it sounds like we're injury baiting and stuff like that. But the job is to bang with the big man. That's the job of him. He's the one to put body to Wemby, so make Wemby uncomfortable. Cat's not gonna make him too uncomfortable.
I think as long as Cat doesn't settle for threes, then the Knicks have a really good chance.
Yeah.
But if Cat tries to go in a couple times and get blocked, he's gonna start settling, and that's what he shouldn't do.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what he typically resorts to when he can't get anything going inside, is he start to settle for the threes. But as far as the lineup goes, it's going to be for the Spurs starting lineup: Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle. I don't know if Harrison Barnes is starting over there, but I don't think so because he's older. So is it Kelvin Johnson that's starting?
Well, I think Keldon Johnson was still coming off the bench, but he's playing more of the minutes.
Okay, so then it's Champagny and Devin Vassell starting, and then Victor and Wembanyama at the center position, and then for the Knicks it's Brunson, Hart, Bridges, OG, and then Cat.
Yeah.
So I think so with that lineup they're probably going to have OG start on. I wouldn't be surprised if they had OG start up on Wemby, just to get up under him right away.
I wouldn't be surprised either, because after that game 1 against the Thunder, the smaller defender, for whatever reason, was still bothering Wemby after that game 1. That game 1, he was going crazy on the smaller defender. The rest of that series, though, that smaller defender actually was causing problems for him.
I think the biggest issue with that is that the guards aren't good at doing an entry pass. So
yeah,
it allows the smaller defenders to get the good positioning, because like the Spurs guards can't get that pass in there. Like I think Fox can, but Castle and Harper, I think they still struggle to get the good pass in there.
Which is so crazy to me, because I saw them overthrow an entry pass to Wemby before, and like in the game multiple times during the series. And I'm like, how are you overthrowing the ball to a man that's 7'5"? I just don't understand, how are you throwing this ball this high to where it's out of his reach or messing up his positioning by you throwing him the ball that high.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series, to say the least.
So you got Knicks in 7, I got Spurs in 6.
Yeah.
We putting money on it? Is it gonna be a wager?
Nope. Because
I would never put a wager on Knicks basketball.
Because I'm not gonna put a wager on it, because I can, as much as I think the Spurs are gonna win, I can see the Knicks winning.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I learned through life is don't bet on Knicks. So
But they deserve it. But they deserve it. All right then. So we will go ahead and pivot to our social media pick and roll segment. So this is just a segment where we pick up topics from posts we see on social media and roll with it. So today we have a heavy hitter: Jaylen Brown, Stephen A. Smith, Nick Wright. They got some drama going on. Can you fill us in on what's been going on?
Okay, yeah. So basically, when the Boston Celtics were eliminated from the playoffs by the 76ers, on Jaylen Brown's Twitch, I believe it was his Twitch.
It's Twitch. Yeah.
But I
or
think
whatever you're streaming on, I believe it's Twitch.
It's Twitch. So he said that this was his favorite year. Now Stephen A. Smith had an issue with that because it's just thinking about it, it irritates me, because I'm not a journalist, but hearing someone in that field just make insinuations without knowing anything, it irritates me. But he was saying he was just making an insinuation about the whole thing because Jason Tatum was out most of the year and stuff like that, and he was saying like it shouldn't be his favorite year because they lost Was it a 3-1 lead, or they had a lead?
3-1. Yep.
Yeah,
3-1 against
3-1 lead against the 76ers and all this stuff. But
for the first time in the history of the Boston Celtics, in my Stephen A. voice.
Yeah, like he was just saying all this stuff, and then he said something about like something about Jason Tatum, how like Jason Tatum hasn't been on his show, on his little production yet, but he was on First Take and all this stuff, and it was just it made no sense for him to even like bringing that up.
and that's just to get into that first, because Stephen A. Smith makes it so hard to agree with him on points that I actually partially agree with, because he takes them too far.
Yeah.
In no context of being a winner, I don't care how, like, a winner is supposed to be a contender for a championship. I don't care how happy you are about this season. Like, and I don't know what full Jaylen Brown's reason was for it. In no context should this be your favorite season after you blew a 3-1 lead to the Sixers as a contender.
I think the way that they lost makes it hard to say that it should be a favorite. But I think what he was saying was like, because of Jason Tatum being out, they weren't expected to finish at the top of the Eastern Conference, and they overachieved. And then also, and also he was in the MVP conversation, all that stuff like that. So I can see why he would say like it was his favorite, because like his performance this year, led them to the number 2 seed, and he was talked about in the MVP conversation at a point until Jason Tatum came back, and then they kind of got back into a little mesh together. So I can see like from an individual standpoint how it could have been. From a team standpoint, oh no, it can't be your favorite season. But as an individual, where you actually show more of your leadership and you being able to score and help your team win and get into that MVP conversation, like you weren't in a conversation previously, now you are. Like, I can see why that could be. But yeah, as a team, I wouldn't say it.
And so that's what I was going to say, but that's more the reason why I wouldn't have said it. Now, don't get me wrong. I also partially agree with Jaylen Brown. It should be a favorite season, because the other player on that team that could have took the shine from me was not there. While expecting my team to do horrible, I'm the man around this point. I still carry it in where we at right now. You should feel like it's your favorite season. I would also feel like, hey man, this was my favorite season. Everybody been talking about me in the media all year. They ain't treat me like I'm Robin out here. They finally treat me like I'm Batman. Everything like that. But I'm not saying that. That's live, because I still have a team to actually think about as far as what we're doing and everything. And we, as a team, just lost a 3-1 lead.
And I think it was one of those things where like it wasn't like, I don't know if it was the same day after they lost, or if it was like the next day or like the weekend after they lost, that he started streaming. And that was like one of the biggest, that was the issue. Like, you just lost. Like, why are you streaming? Like, okay, first of all, I don't mind it. Maybe that's how he's kind of getting away now, you know? Like, the season's over, you can actually get on, you can talk to your fans, people who are coming, you can answer questions. And I think that's where it was, like, they asked a question and he just answered it on there. But I don't have a problem with like people getting on and talking. Like, when they had a problem with, what was it Draymond after they lost, and he won his podcast later that same night. So I don't mind it, because it's like, as an NBA player, listen, you rich, you do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. If this is how you wind it down after a long season, that didn't end your way, hey, go for it.
Yeah. I just say, like, I just feel like, because, like, now, so the reason you don't say something like this, Jaylen Brown, is because you allow the space for Stephen A. Smith to sow discourse between your team and your teammates. Because now, even though Jason Tatum might not fully think this, somewhere in the back of his head, first off, we know how Jason Tatum is anyway. Text messages to Kobe and all the different stuff he's said in the past. So in the back of my head, I'm like, well, it's my bro, but I've been out the whole season with a torn Achilles, and he said this is his favorite season. Like, now in the media, there's sown discourse between us, and now I don't know how that's affecting the other man on this team that I got to win with the rest of my time here, which now sows discourse within your front office. This is why I said sometimes Stephen A. Smith says stuff that I agree with, but he don't say it. Right message, wrong messenger. Let's put it that way. But Steve, I don't be really want to hear stuff coming out of Stephen A. Smith's mouth, but it does make sense with him telling Brunson he needs to be quiet. Like, you need to be quiet because now you're there's this narrative you created now, because you can't say something and expect everybody to know it fully what you're saying if you don't fully go into the details of what you're saying. Now you can go into it afterwards, but that don't matter now. The whole media and everybody's creating what they wanted to think about it. Like, so
let me correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not remembering it fully. Did Stephen A. say something about Jaylen Brown, to along the lines of like kind of stop streaming or something like that? Or
he just said be quiet. He didn't tell him to stop streaming. He just told him you need to be quiet.
No,
that's what he said.
No, because he mentioned something about like Jaylen Brown kind of getting into like his space of like the
that was
the
after
media.
that was after Jaylen Brown made the new comments about if you want to be quiet, you need to be quiet and retire. Then I'll be quiet. That's what he was talking about.
Okay.
Smith was like, well, he was like, well, you were like trying to step over into my field or whatever, stuff like that. So that's what he did. He started saying it then. But originally, Stephen A. Smith was just like, be quiet for the reasons that basically I just said. Because he's like, and now with him being like he throws in the little stuff like, see, Jason Tatum has been on my show.
My thing is to say like, if say like Stephen A. said, you know, like kind of like be quiet based on like you kind of like from like my like from his point of view is why he should not be talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jaylen Brown didn't say anything. Then I think at that point, then it kind of seemed like Stephen A. was right. Because then, like, if you don't rebuttal, it looks like Stephen A. was spot on, which I don't think he was spot on. I think he had some good points in there, but I don't think he's like the end all be all for like.
Well, yeah, no. Well, one, Stephen A. Smith is never spot on, so he's never gonna be spot on with everything. And I also would like to say, and this is just my personal gripe with Jaylen Brown, bro. Listen, I don't care about you doing your streams and all that different stuff. Everybody want to stream, everyone want to talk, do whatever they want to do here and there, whatever. The tough guy act, I don't like the tough guy act from you. Like everything he says, and like you could hear in how he talked that he don't be believing half of the stuff, like how he says it. It gives very much so like fake gangster. I don't know why he feels the need to try to up himself and like it was like when he made that post about my teacher said I wasn't gonna never be amount to nothing or something like that. But everyone's like, but why would your teacher tell you that? If like you like Jaylen Brown was super smart at school, like straight A student, valedictorian in school, went to college, got like he he wasn't the type of student in school that a teacher would say that to. I don't know. And it's an issue that both him and Jason Tatum have. I don't know if it's because they don't have enough edge to them or what, but they always do stuff or say stuff to try to like seem tougher than what they is. I'm like, y'all gotta do that. Like, y'all just play basketball at some point. Like, y'all, yeah, media say something to y'all crazy. Yeah, you fun to, and how it made you feel, but you ain't gotta respond to it about how it made you feel and make yourself seem tougher with it. Like it don't make sense to me at all. Like, because it was times that Jaylen Brown was cussing and he wasn't even stringing his cuss words together like somebody that just curses all the time. And I'm like he was at one point, he was like, you know what I say? You know how I say to that Stephen A. Smith? I say, F you, Stephen A. I was like,
he said F Stephen A, Stephen B, Stephen C.
Stephen C. I'm like, what are you doing right now, bro? Stop this. Stop. This is not you. This is not you. This don't make sense. It's giving very corny right now, and I don't like it. But so that was really my only issue with any of the comebacks or even stuff you said originally is just how corny it's not no. We know you're smart. Whatever you might have grinded to get where you at right. That's your story. You grinded to be where you at. You don't gotta create some false narrative, nothing like that. People already like you. You don't have to do any of this to seem any type of way. I don't understand it.
Well, that's the thing that Stephen A. tried to point out as well was that like he's a good player, but he's not. I'm not gonna say that people don't like. He's not liked, but he's not marketable.
Not as, but is he not? So that was the thing that also Stephen A. Like I said, I hate to agree with him with certain things. Is that this being your favorite season, Jaylen Brown, you should have used this season to get everything that you've been deserving. As far as like sponsorships and things of that nature, like this should have been your season that you was doing all of that. And that's what you do in a season like this when you are as good as the player, the other player that everybody's trying not to compare you to, because Jason Tatum was still in majority of your shine, and you are just as good of a player as Jason Tatum, and you proved that during this season. That's what you should have been focused on.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just like that. I feel like there's not a real like noticeable thing that Jaylen Brown has done where I'm just like, oh, you remember what that, the thing that Jaylen Brown did?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's just one of those hoopers that he goes out there and hoops. There's like nothing real spectacular. There might have been like a couple like dunks or something like that at one point, but there's like really nothing spectacular with him like on or off the court where it's like memorable.
Yeah.
But then like there's like things with like Jason Tatum where one of the things that you would first think of was his rookie year when he dunked on LeBron.
He dunked on LeBron, yes. I was gonna say that's what, as soon as you start talking about this, that's all I can think about was just it was him dunking on LeBron. I was like, well, hey, look.
Or where he outplayed Giannis in Game 6 of the. Was it the Eastern Conference Finals or not the Eastern Conference Finals? It was the second round in the playoffs. Like it's like certain things,
but like it's stuff you can point to.
Yeah. So then, after Jaylen Brown kind of rebutted, then Stephen A. came back, and he talked about like. It was okay. He basically made a threat to do journalism. He was talking about, you don't want me to talk about such and such and such, but it's like you're not saying, like, you have information that you're not reporting on. Like, if you have the information and it's credible information, say it. Like if there's something you heard about Jason Tatum not liking them or something like that, or something with the team not like, say, why don't you report it? Like it's like he's choosing the information as a threat. To me, is what it sounded like.
Yeah,
and that's what I don't like.
and which it sounded like to me too. But Stephen A. Smith is notorious for doing this, especially anytime anybody tries to come at him in a way. He always got some kind of fairy tale information, a cause he can make to bring out something like that, and he always does it.
And that's one of I used to rock with Stephen A. so much back in the day, and then I think the more power he got over at ESPN, the more he started to drift away from being likable.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you exactly when I stopped liking Stephen A. Smith. When he stopped working with somebody that I like less than Stephen A. Smith. when Skip left him, all my like for Stephen A. basically disappeared, because then a bunch of people just got on the show that, for the most part, are just sitting here agreeing with Stephen A. Smith. Other than the parts of them trying to bring in Shannon Sharp and all the different stuff, and that brought back a little bit of it, but everybody Shannon Sharp way more than Stephen A. Smith anyway. But yeah. So
yeah, it was just I think for me, I think ever since the whole LeBron thing, was it last year with Bronny? Where
I believe so.
Where Stephen A, it's like he says something, but he doesn't realize how he said it. And even if somebody like mentions to him like, "Oh, this is how it sounded," it's just like there is no accountability there as far as like, "Oh, I can see how that sounded." Because when he mentioned like the whole LeBron thing, was just like, "LeBron, I'm speaking to you as a father here." Like, I feel like once you took it past the basketball and started bringing up like the parenting part of it, I think that's where LeBron had the issue with it, and Stephen A. just didn't see it that way. And so then when LeBron approached him about it, and then Stephen A., had his little, what do you call it, his little soliloquy up on First Take and stuff like that. And then he went on a podcast tour talking about how he didn't like LeBron and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like LeBron approached you one time, and then you went on like 5 different podcasts to talk about this.
Yeah. Instead of sitting there and have the conversation with, and that's what, if I was Jaylen Brown, and that's why I said it's too much, you're not using that big brain up there. Because if I'm gonna get into this pissing match with Stephen A. Smith, and he's gonna bring up, "Oh, like I'll come do your stream or whatever, blah blah." Like that's what you want. I've never been scared to come and talk with you if that's what you gonna need or something like that. I would have said, "Well, why ain't you sit down and talk with LeBron?" That's my first thing. But I'm petty, so my brain works immediately like that. I'm like, well, I mean, hey, when LeBron had you shivering in your boots last year, you didn't sit down and talk to LeBron. You was dodging him at games. Let the media tell it, but
because it was one of those things where it's just like you don't understand how you said it and how it came across. Because one, you're a parent yourself. If someone came to you talking about, "Hey, as a father, I wouldn't let my child do such and such," you would have an issue with it. Because now I'm questioning your parenthood by saying that. And I think that was the biggest issue there. And he just didn't see it that way. He just felt like LeBron just came up to him out of nowhere. No, LeBron has always been about basketball. If it's criticism when it comes to basketball, he just let it roll up off of him. But like you start taking personal shots, I think that's where he will. That's where he will make a comment or like a sly comment or post something, responding to it in like a subliminal way.
Yeah, especially dealing with his parenting, because as busy of a man that LeBron is, he is always, you always see him as a good parent in public eye. So I don't even know why anything parenting wise would be brought up into LeBron anyway.
Yeah.
Especially when your GOAT is Michael Jordan. Well, like you ain't brought up nothing about Michael Jordan's parenting, but you gonna bring up LeBron's parenting skills. It's crazy.
But then then Nick Wright chimed in because as contemporary to all of it, he felt like Stephen A kind of crossed the line with that. The whole sounding like a threat thing.
Yeah.
And then Stephen A on his podcast responded back to, I didn't see, like, I was only able to find a clip of it.
Yeah.
But I think he responded back to multiple people. But the only one he didn't name drop was Nick Wright.
Yeah.
And he mentioned the whole mobster thing, and all this stuff. And then he was just like, I know who you be with. Like another insinuated threat again, without saying anything. And Nick, Nick Wright was like, "You did unironically, you did the same thing that I said you were doing." But
which he did.
And
he played right into Nick Wright's hands.
Yeah, and Nick Wright was saying like he's probably insinuating, like talking about his relationship with Maverick and Rich Paul, who are LeBron's guys. But that's not a secret, though.
Yeah,
it's not like that's a secret. Like he's friendly with them already. But yeah, it was just one of those things where it's just, I feel like Stephen A has done a lot to get where he is. But I think now that he is in the space that he's in, not currently where he is in the sports media space, but then now he's branching off into the politics space as well. There's a reason why some black people are not rocking with them anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's all encompassing now, because it's kind of molding into each other, because he has ESPN, then he'll see up on like some political debate show or something like that. But then he has his own podcast where it all melts together because he talks about everything there. And so it's just like right now he just seems like he's trying to be all encompassing, when I feel like people really only watch him for sports, and he's branching out into other things where it's not rubbing people the right way.
Yeah. And that's where I also feel like Stephen A. Smith has become so what he feels like is untouchable with ESPN, that he kind of is in a field of where he thinks he could just say whatever half the time. And then he could just recant or renege on whatever it was saying and say that those weren't his intentions, anything like that. And then he just tops it over with saying something worse.
And don't get me wrong, I like Stephen A. Smith. There's just certain things that he say and do sometimes where I'm just like, I can't rock with that.
Yeah.
But one thing that I feel like is a constant crutch of his is always the fact that he likes to mention, like, if people say like black people ain't rock with him, he always bring up like, I got so and so in the door who's a black person. Like, it's like that's just like his crutch is like, well, I've helped out black people. No, like that does not mean that black people gotta like you. Like,
Yeah.
You do stuff that certain black people do not like, and that's okay. Not everyone's gonna like you, but your crutch should not always be, I've done such and such to help out black people and get black people an opportunity or through a foot in the door here. That does not mean like, because like people are saying like, I think it was his comments about Michelle Obama and then Jasmine Crockett that people really had an issue with.
Yeah.
And it was just like one of those things where I don't think he saw it as an issue, but people took it as an issue. And I think he doesn't understand that black people felt like he was attacking black people and showing out for white people. Like, I'm not saying that, but I can see where people were going that route. Like, I'm not in the political field, like space that much to have a full opinion on that, but I heard about that and saw like clips on that, and I can see why people said that. I'm not gonna say it because I don't think that it was like an intentional shot at black people in general or just them. It was just, I feel like it's just Stephen A. Smith at this point in his life.
In which I'll say that a lot of people feel that about Stephen A. Smith as far as like going at black people, because as far as like his careers went, and I know he's covered sports that are predominantly covered by, I mean, like encompassed by black people. Like, he's not covering hockey or anything like that. He has always seemed to go at the black players differently than the white players. So when you account that trend of his history, no matter what you've done for black people, Stephen A. Smith, with now your statements you're starting to make in the political sense, it's giving, and I'll say it, Master, you wouldn't say it, but it's giving Uncle Tomish. So people are like, well, dog, all you did was dog out black people in sports, and now you into politics, and the first thing you really do when you get into talking about politics is dog out some more black people. It was just like, make it make sense to us, Stephen A., because right now it ain't making sense.
Yeah, it's just, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't think there's been any more like back and forth since that last thing with Nick Wright.
Yeah.
But I mean, Stephen A. Smith pretty much kind of played right into it. And Nick Wright brought up where he felt it started, which was like, I think he said 10 years ago when he kind of insinuated a threat towards Kevin Durant back then. About like reporting something again back then. But it's like, I don't know. It just feels like Stephen A. Smith hasn't been about the sports in a while. I think he's trying to be too out there and branching, like too out branching to different things, which is fine. Like, if you want to go off and do something else, that's fine. But I feel like your personality is taking a big hit on like what you became known for, and people aren't liking it. I honestly, First Take, I haven't watched First Take in so long because it just hasn't been interesting to me.
Yeah. I will still see clips here and there, but
I used to try to watch it when Max Kellerman was on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, out after I mean, Stephen A. Smith said he had nothing to do with it, but I'm pretty sure he did after he got fired from there. Like people were, I remember they were saying he was so mad because Chad Johnson said that Max Kellerman was blacker than Steve Smith. I mean, Stephen A. Smith.
Smith, yeah.
Stephen A. Smith, he was so upset by that.
He should have been, but also Max Kellerman won a lot of with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Because I like Max. Like now, Max also has some takes. Where you going with that? But
yeah, Mike was cutting out again.
But yeah, oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because my overhead just died on me. But yeah, so Max has always been a better debater than Stephen A. Smith, so I can fully see how Stephen A. Smith probably got him removed from First Take.
Yeah, I think that was really the last time I watched like a full show of like ESPN was back then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And now I watch ESPN more during football season than I do basketball season because for some reason I'm like there's so many college games during football season that it's kind of hard for me to stay away from ESPN in the First Take and everything. During basketball season, I literally make that statement.
I think your mic went out again.
Oh wow.
It was like you were talking and then they got the kind of robot voice going for a second.
I might be having technical difficulties because of the storm also. So.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
All right. With that being said, do we want to move on to the last topic for tonight?
Yeah.
Well, we're moving straight to Coaching from the Couch, which is just a segment where our host, Mastiff and Banana, give their unqualified opinions about their favorite teams, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Golden State Warriors. So tonight, we'll only be hearing some chirping from the couch when it comes to the Milwaukee Bucks. So, Mastiff, and then, of course, Banana, what are your thoughts in regards to Giannis becoming a hot trade commodity?
Well, I think with the Thunder losing, I feel like if they wanted to, they could throw a big deal at the Bucks for Giannis. But if they made a move for Giannis, then I feel like other teams in the West who has picks or something like that could also try to make a swing at him at that point, because obviously Giannis is the type of player he is. Could help you against someone like Wemby. But also, I think if someone on the West was trying to scoop in and get Giannis, Miami might have to change up their offer a little bit more. You know, it's one of those things where I feel like the Bucks haven't played since April, but somehow I feel like they were the winner of the weekend. And I mean, right now it's looking like, you know, Miami is possibly the only team out there that the Bucks are really even considering, which I don't like, but I mean, at this point you kind of got to do what you got to do. But
which is a crazy thing to me. I'm like, there's so many other teams that I feel like we're a better option than the Heat, but okay.
I feel like other teams don't have the draft capital that the Bucks are looking for in a trade, though. Because remember, we don't really have a pick until 2031. So if we're going to trade him and someone's offering some draft capital so we can help recoup what we don't have, I think that's more enticing than actually any players that we're getting back for Giannis. So yeah, I feel like
Yeah, but
the only other team with draft capital is honestly the Thunder, and I think Houston as well. But yeah, I think Houston and the Thunder outside of Miami are like the only teams that really have some type of draft capital, which kind of
and
makes
see, my
me.
only thing with that is that so outside of the those two teams, whatever, say neither one of those teams want to make a move. What do you do now with Giannis? Because if you're looking at these two teams, means that you're looking, which means we may have to look at other options opposed to just getting a bunch of draft capital back.
Well, the good thing about right now is that the owners of the Bucks are not having anything. Like, are not having it right now. Like they said before the draft, they want something figured out. So I think if they will take a deal that will net something in return, like it might not be like the haul that somebody like the Desmond Bain got, or like Memphis got for Desmond Bain, or Brooklyn got for Mikal Bridges. It might not be like something like that where you got multiple first round picks, but you can get a couple first round picks and some second round picks out of it as well. It's just, I think the ownership is just kind of over it. And I think they're willing to take something, take what they can get. But I think the price goes up if other teams start looking as well. So I think they probably already have like an agreement with Miami in the works right now. But I think if another team comes with a better offer, then Miami will have to throw in something else if they really wanted Giannis. But I don't know. I would, if you can't get anything done during the offseason, like if the deal isn't good, you might have to just wait until the start of the new season. And, you know, sometimes injuries happen and teams will be more desperate for a player. But yeah, right now I think that they have a working deal right now with Miami that they will unfortunately have to take to get Giannis off the books.
Yeah.
Which I don't like because
Which
I
was about to say, which is going to be unfortunate for both of you.
I mean, well, because the thing is, if we trade Giannis, we might as well try to work in a deal to get rid of Turner as well. Because if we trade Giannis, then we're going to get Kel'el Ware back, and I would rather have him as my starting center and let him grow with the young players than have someone like Miles Turner, who is older. He's not like super old, but he's older, and I feel like he can be an asset on a different team. So you can throw a third team in there somewhere and you can try to bring back more picks while getting rid of some of the older people. Bring back some youth and get rid of like the older players. But also kind of recoup some picks as well with that. Cause like Miles Turner, I think he could be, I mean, there's teams that could use a good, like a center, like a defensive center.
Yeah.
But
in which, okay, so let me ask you this, and then I'll let you get more into it. Do you think, okay, in the world of Giannis just randomly saying he don't want to go anywhere, do you think they still move Giannis?
yes, I think if he came out and said that he didn't want to go anywhere, I think they should still move him. Because one, you really can't go off a word, because you have to like, and he can't sign an extension. So if you go past like this point right now before the draft, based off of what he says, he can go into the season and not sign an extension, and now you're really out. You would have to try to find a trade during the season, and those trades, because he can opt out next year, are not going to be as lucrative that you would get now. So I think the only sure bet trade is Miami, because he's most likely to sign an extension with Miami than other teams, because I feel like Miami is on his list of teams that he would like to go to. But if it was like a in season trade, then it's not going to be as lucrative, because he's pretty much on his last year on a contract. So I would still trade him, even if he said that he didn't want to go anywhere. Because if what he's been saying the past couple seasons, where he wants to, he loves Milwaukee, he wants to stay here, but behind the scenes, if he's like saying that he wants to be traded, you can't really trust his word at that point then. So I would just go ahead and just move him and get back what I can for now.
Yeah.
Like at this point,
that's what I just wanted to see.
Yeah, at this point, it's more so you got to do what's best for the team. Like, yes, you want to do what's best for Giannis. He was your franchise player for 12 years. I think 11 years, 12 years.
Yeah, well,
something like that. And so you want to do what's best for him. But if he continues to be uncertain about things, then you kind of have to take it into your own hands and do what's best for the team while trying to make him happy still. But at the same time, it's more so it's what's best for the team.
Yeah, okay. I get you.
Like I say, like, Giannis is my guy. I want what's best for Giannis. But at the same time, we've pigeonholed ourselves as an organization, bringing in players consistently to try to help with the winning with no reward for it. So now we're out so many picks because of that. And now if you want to leave, you're leaving us with nothing. If we don't trade you and you just walk next year, then we have nothing to show for it because we got rid of all our picks.
Yeah, you get nothing in return.
Yeah. So at that point, that's why I say, like, at that point, it's more so what's best for the team and the organization.
Yeah.
All right. So that sounds
that's what I said. Like, what were you saying, Daisy?
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, right now, and like I don't know why Giannis would like to go play for Miami, but I have saw that places where he wants to go play for Miami, but
well, he wants to stay.
I feel like he's gonna get more of the same.
They say he wants to stay on the East Coast because it's an easier flight back to Greece when the summer hits than if he were to go on the West Coast. So it's easier for him to get back home than anything.
Yeah. But I also don't feel like that in lines of what his end goal is. Honestly, I feel like well, they probably didn't have much draft capital either, but a good option for him would have been, like, just for him playing wise would have been, but
would have been who?
Obviously now in the position that they're in, that's they definitely ain't winning the Giannis sweepstakes. So
wait, what team was it? You cut out when you said the team name.
The Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks. Okay. I feel like Coach Spo in Miami would be the best coach that Giannis has ever had so far in the NBA.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that by
He
itself
definitely would be the best coach.
would be something interesting for him. But yeah,
Man, that's what I want. Well, but we'll just wait in the whims to see where Giannis ends up going.
I still want to do a live stream for the draft. Maybe just the first round of the draft, so we can kind of make our predictions as we go.
Yeah. That's what day is the draft on this year?
I think
What's the date
it's
for the
the 23rd.
Okay.
It is June 23rd and 24th. Well, 24th is the second round, so they're doing it 2 days now.
Man, why couldn't it be early July? We could have done it live in person.
Well, listen, that gives you enough time to get your mock drafts in order and just to see who's most accurate.
I feel like the top 4 is already in order, unless somebody plans on getting fired in the front office of one of those teams.
That's why I said it's most likely in order now. The order of 3 and 4 might flip flop.
That could flip flop, yeah.
It's pretty much that top 4 is going to be the top 4 is looking.
Yeah. But from 5 to 10, that's kind of up in the air. Like they can kind of slide up and down that range. The players that are in that zone. So there's Acuff, Keaton Wagler, Michael Brown, Kingston Fleming, I think was up there. Braden Burries, Nate Ament. Yeah, they like Yexel is there also. Daymara, like that whole section right there is like those are like the best names after the top 4 that can go in honestly any order at that point.
Yeah.
Well, I do think Keaton Wagler will be 5 or 6. I don't think he's dropping past 6.
That's the player from Illinois.
Yeah. Like he's not athletic, which could be something that makes him drop, but I think talent wise he shouldn't drop.
Yeah.
And then you got Darius Acuff, who is on the smaller. I think he's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
But he's stocky though. Like he's like
he got a Jason build. He'll be all right.
Yeah. So I think he'll be okay. Michael Brown, he'll have to gain some muscle because I think he's not short, but I think he is it 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah. But he don't have an imposing build for a guard that tall.
Yeah. So he's 6'3.5" without shoes. So he would be around 6'5" with shoes, or almost 6'5" with shoes.
Yeah.
Shoes make a big difference.
They actually do. I mean, I got a pair of shoes that actually make a bigger difference because I got a pair of shoes that make me 6'3". So
But yeah, so I think I think the top 4 is solidified pretty much, and then the rest of it is just kind of up in the air. So that's going to be the real guess. Is from 5 to 14. The rest of the lottery is the real guess. Did you have anything that you wanted to say about your Warriors at all?
I did not, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't see them making any moves, to be completely honest.
At least not right now during draft time. If they made some surprise me. Now, random enough, I watch a lot of like 2K what if scenario videos and stuff like that. And in almost every video on those 2K generators, for some reason, 2K has Steph Curry getting traded to the Washington Wizards for the #1 pick. That happens in every one of the generators. And it's so unbelievable. But if that happens, I feel like
so
like, this is
okay. I know who you want the Wizards to take. I mean, not the Wizards, but I know who you want the Warriors to take. But realistically, who do you think they should take?
Well, realistically, who is looking like the Fears guard? I can't remember what his first name is.
What team?
That's what I'm trying to remember right now. Hold on, because that's what in all the mock drafts. It has him as the guard they're taking. He's a shooting guard.
Burries?
You said what?
Was it Braden Burries, the shooting guard?
Maybe that's the name I'm thinking about. And I just put Fears.
Because when I think Fears, I think Jeremiah Fears, who's up on the Pelicans. He got drafted last year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is. It is Braden. Yeah.
Okay. Which I think is not. He's not a bad pick.
Like I said, a lot of them also have the drafting Yaxel, and I would just love a Yaxel draft. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, and I feel like Yaxel is more ready than a lot of the younger draft picks since he's considered old for a draft, like a draftee, but he's young compared to like real life. Because he's like 23.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of old for a draftee. But he has experience.
And I will say, we ain't talked about second round at all on here at all, but they're talking about possibly drafting Carson Cooper. That's who we're hoping to get with our 54th pick. And he'd be a great pick from Michigan State because he, with how he plays defense and guards, like, he can basically guard all 5 spots. He was doing it at Michigan State, but he's also at 6'11", doing that. He'll be a great fit defensively for this team at that big man position, and he grabs. So now he can't shoot. That's my only concern with him. But
who is this Karen Lopez person from the New Zealand Breakers?
I have not seen anything about him other than him being in
the last Bleacher Report mock draft from the 26 had the Bucks taking him at number 10. Yeah, I don't know.
And that's what I've been seeing him in a bunch of the mock drafts, going in a bunch of different spots in the lottery. But apparently he's going lottery. But I hadn't heard anything about him at all. So
yeah. But yeah, I mean, whatever happens, I feel like whoever the Bucks pick is gonna be a surprise to me because I feel like there's no guaranteed number 10 pick.
Definitely not, especially with how confusing that, like I said, that 5th to 10 is gonna get anyway. There's no telling who the Bucks are gonna draft.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but we'll see. I also think that the Bucks are going to try to get into the second round because I don't think they have a second round pick this year, but they're going to try to make a trade to get into the second round at some point to get a pick. Dang, Koa Pete dropped that low in the mock drafts.
Yep.
That's crazy. I thought he was gonna be higher than that. Well, I feel like he'll be a steal because I feel like he has a lot of potential. He just, yeah, I don't know why he dropped so far. But yeah,
That's what name I haven't seen that they're projecting y'all also is the Nate Ament from Tennessee.
you know, I'm kind of coming around to him a little bit because I feel like if we're rebuilding and the next couple years is going to be a growth year for like all the young players, then I wouldn't mind, because then that means like our coaches are doing something right if we can start to have some growth with the younger players. But I don't know, it's one of those things where it's going to be kind
I
of
just realized
tough.
something, and I have to beg this now. I have to beg this to the basketball world right now because I just realized who was behind us at the 12th pick.
The Thunder.
Basketball worlds, please let us draft Yaxel. Do not let the Thunder get Yaxel because they gonna draft him. Please, for the love of everything, just let the Warriors draft him. Or let him sneak into the top 10 for all I care. Just do not let him fall to the Thunder. I don't care who y'all let slide to him to the Thunder. Do not let Yaxel go to the Thunder. I'm gonna be highly upset. I did not know the Thunder had the 12th pick.
Yeah, they're right behind. Yeah. But yeah,
Because obviously they're not gonna draft Braden Berries anyway. Because they got too many guards right now.
that's true. That's true. But yeah, I feel like Braden Burries though. I feel like he's going. I feel like he's got to go. He's got to go in that 5 to 10 range. I don't think he's dropping out of the 10. I feel like if he dropped to the Bucks would take him.
Yeah. And this is just, I feel like ESPN doesn't know what they're talking about half the time because Braden Berries right now, ESPN is said his high end is a less athletic Derek White. So y'all just said that man still is a less athletic Derek White. Derek White ain't the most athletic anyway.
But Braden Burries is actually athletic though.
Yeah. Now let me give him credit. Maybe he said more. Maybe he said more athletic. Let me go back and see. Nope, it says less athletic Derek White. And that's his ceiling, and his floor is Quentin Grimes.
That's crazy.
That's what ESPN says right now.
That's
Also, ESPN has the ceiling for Yaxel being Jalen Johnson and the floor being Aaron Gordon.
Wait, who's the ceiling?
Jalen Johnson.
Okay, Jalen Johnson with the Hawks.
Yeah.
At this point in their careers, I don't think he's better than Aaron Gordon.
That's what I was going to say. Now, granted, Jalen Johnson has been solid, great since he's got in the league. But I don't think I'm ready to say he's better than Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
ESPN don't know what they be talking about half the time.
But I'm not. Listen. He's from Milwaukee, so I'm not even gonna be mad at it. Yeah, Jalen Johnson, Milwaukee boy.
But yeah, so
it's so funny because like recently there's like a string of like Wisconsin players just coming out of nowhere. Because you got Con Knipple, you got Jordan Poole, you got Kayvon Looney, Jalen Johnson, you got there was someone else. I just had his name. Oh, Tyler Hero from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's like they're coming out of nowhere now. Like they're starting to get on the map. It's so funny because Kayvon Looney in high school played just like Kevin Durant, and then his position changed when he got to the league. Well, when he got to college, basically.
Yeah. And that happens, and people underestimate how quickly you can get how to shoot a basketball. Once you play a role for so long, that role kind of ingrains in your head, especially if you're playing it at a solid clip to get you into the NBA. Like it becomes foreign to you.
Yeah, because you see a video of like Mitchell Robinson going crazy on the pickup court, and then you see him playing the NBA game, and don't look nothing the same.
Because Mitchell Robinson got a handle and everything.
Exactly. And you get an NBA court, and he looks like he can't even play basketball half the time.
Yeah. I have a hilarious question though. Our moderator hasn't went to sleep over there, has she?
Don't do me. Don't do me.
I just wanted to make sure because we started rambling, Daisy.
Hey, you ain't stopped us at all. We just talking.
I never know. Y'all have these random silence, and then I try to speak, and then y'all continue your thought, and I'm like, what is this?
You know what it is? Daisy likes to hear us talk basketball.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. She just like to hear us ramble.
Or y'all are just too overpowering for me. That's it. This brings us to the close of our 4th episode of Cross Court Conversations. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter to interact with the host regarding your unqualified opinions. All right, guys. Bye.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Punks.